What's up, Metal Summoners? As always, it is so great to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in, rocking out, showing so much love to our guests, and allowing me and Angel to have such amazing conversations. This is your Island of Misfit Toys, man. Myself and Angel, we're going to keep the good times flowing. We're super stoked about our guest tonight. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We got Dixon joining us right now from Chokesetter. What's up, brother? First and foremost, thank you so much for some time this evening, and welcome to the Metal Summit.
Hey, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Well, let's jump right into everything that's got going on right now, man. We're about halfway through the year. How's 2025 been treating you guys?
Oh man, it's it's been great, really. We finally got to do our tour with Crowbot in May. We're about close to 3 weeks with those guys, and it was amazing. Trying to get some stuff written for the fans. We've had that second album on the back burner for so long. We just keep getting show offers, and it's hard, as a live band to turn stuff down. But we kind of made the decision here for the summer to kind of take this and start saying no to some shows, unless of course it's something amazing like what's coming up in September with COC. But yeah, this year has been going great, man. I just hope to. The album is 3/4 of the way written. We got to start demoing stuff. We're talking about going to Texas and record. So we'll see how that pans out. But it's been a busy year so far, and we're trying to take a few minutes off here and get these songs put together that we've had waiting to be finished to get them out.
No, 100%, man, and absolutely not. No, there's no saying no to Corrosion of Conformity, dude.
Dude,
that's too good of a show.
Yeah, I mean that they've been one of my favorite bands since the album Blind, and I don't mean to take anything away from the albums before that, but that's me and Angel were talking before we went live about those guys, and that's probably in my top 10 all-time favorite albums by Blind by them. So for us to be able to open for those guys is amazing.
Oh, for sure. You need to get on a show with them or a tour with them when they're performing that album in its entirety.
Oh my God. I don't know that they would be able to do it because they were actually a 5-piece at that time. And they had They had a different singer. Pepper only sang on Vote with a Bullet on that album. So
that's true.
And they had a completely different bass player. So
yeah.
I'd love to see him do it. Love to see him try, especially if they could get Carl Agel back. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely, for sure. When it came to playing out like you do, and when you need to get writing done, what have you guys found is like the best communication and balance for that? Because obviously, like you already, precursored the question with and mentioned, is that it's already difficult enough as it is.
Yeah, I mean, we got 4 guys that all have pretty much full-time jobs. We do a lot of voice memos back and forth and say, hey, does this catch anybody's ear or stuff like that? So we kind of have a little bit of communication like that. Dustin, our bass player, is a professional engineer, so he'll send us damn near finished demos with pretty much everything intact. So but those of us that aren't that handy at that type of stuff, we need to get together and hope that the juices are flowing. And we've got so much stuff, man. Like if we took all the starts that we had right now, we'd have a double album.
Oh wow.
So it's just paring it down to 12, 14 tracks and getting it done. I think we're going to end up doing an EP before the end of the summer, and then trying to get the full length put together before the end of the year. before the end of the fall, hopefully. So.
Oh, for sure, man. When it comes to your guys' specific writing style, Angel and I kind of love to bounce this question back and forth off of each other when it comes to talking to our guests. Is like, how does the creation of a song tend to work for your guys' band? Is it a song title? Is it a riff? Is it lyrics?
A lot of it is riff based. I mean, everybody I'm not trying to take any undue credit, but everybody in the band writes. Um, I'll come up with a lot of the riffs. Dustin, our bass player, will come up with a lot of stuff, and then we'll kind of mash together, see what happens. But something that I hadn't had much experience with before I got in this band, but our singer Jesse, um, like I said, will do the voice memos, and he'll hum something. He'll either hum something or he'll sing a line and send it to me, and I'll write around it. And I've never really done that way in the past, and it's an interesting way to approach it. So, and like when it comes to uh, melodies and stuff like that, it's Jesse and Larry work pretty close together. I mean, the lion's share is obviously Jesse's, but if Jesse gets stuck for some reason, Larry can jump in, and they're like the Hard Way, the single that's on all the streaming sites. They're all three of our, and I tried to get Dustin in when we were recording the vocals, but there's 3 out of the 4 guys, their voices are on there, and Larry's is pretty prominent. I mean, it's all the lead vocals are obviously Jesse, but
Yeah.
well, everybody gets in there and contributes as far as that goes.
Oh, right on, man, for sure. How did the name of the band come about?
Larry had a friend. Larry used to live in New Orleans, and he had a friend that came up with the name. And when we were looking for a name, he got a hold of the guy. He's like, "Hey, do you care if I use this?" And the guy was like, "No, not at all. Go ahead." There's been some propaganda circulating as of late. We were in Chicago, and we were playing a show, and a guy comes up to me, and he's like, "Yeah," and I don't think he didn't know I was in the band, so he's like, "Oh yeah, that's." He's like, "I think it's kind of cool. These guys are named chokesetter." He's, I guess one of the guys is into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and that's why they named the band that." And I was like, "Huh, I'm the guy that's into Brazilian jiu-jitsu." So I was like, so when Larry initially brought the name up, I was like, "Well, yeah, I don't hate it, that's for sure."
Right.
So, but I asked the guys on the ride home, I was like, "Did somebody say that?" And they were like, "No, nobody said it." So shit started circulating unbeknownst to us. Like, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, it was just something Larry had in his back pocket, and we ended up using it. I mean, it's pretty unique. Like, if you Google the name, we're pretty much the first thing that comes up. So that's
Yeah.
not a bad problem to have.
No. No, even myself and Angel, we had good fortune when it came to this show because we were rebranded something else just because that was the style of show we had designed for this podcast. And then when COVID hit, we all of us as well, Angel, myself, and our other co-hosts at the time, we all started using our various contacts from over the years of people to bring on for interviews.
Mhm.
So the original format, which was to be very like 80s metal, 80s glam style, we started to kind of branched off of that, where it's like, well, we're not really sticking to this particular format, so we should have this at least have this conversation about if we're going to rebrand, it's better to do it now as
Right.
opposed to episode 50 when the show's been on for a year and then it's a bit like overall harder and stuff like that. And we were very fortunate when it came to all of us agreeing upon this name because it doesn't exist anywhere, so
Yeah.
we're really fortunate when it came to that as well. Are you a UFC guy? Are you going to watch the show this weekend?
I'm more interested in the boxing match that's going to be on, but
Oh, right on.
they're both terribly expensive. So unless I know somebody who's actually showing it, but no, I do watch some UFC every now and then. My gym is affiliated actually with Jamal Hill out of Grand Rapids. I don't know if you know that name, but he was.
I've heard the name for sure. I'm a longtime UFC guy, but in recent years, and it really just has more to do with the fact that, like, obviously with its explosion happened a while ago. Like, I remember the original Ultimate Fighter and I watched it all and stuff. So I remember when the bubble popped for it. But in the last, like, 5 years or whatever, 6 years, like, it's so big. There's so many shows, like couple times a month, so many shows. And like when life gets in the way and you're kind of like missing shows and stuff like that, I started, losing, my my grip on reality. And what I mean is, like, I was so many new people were coming in as new up and coming fighters. They were becoming the new stars. They were becoming this and that. And I just got lost in the shuffle of it as a fan, where I'm like, I genuinely have never even heard of these guys that are, like, with the exception of like big personalities, because you kind of can't avoid them. So, like,
Right.
I know who Sean O'Malley is.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who Conor McGregor was. I know who John Jones is. But like, even just the elite title holders right now, like, I've never even heard of these guys, and I'll see their records where it'll be like, 28-2, and it's like, whoa, geez, obviously,
how have I not heard of this guy?
they're not a scrub, but I'm a really old school, like, UFC guy. Like, me and my wife Megan, we're both Chuck Liddell fans. Me personally, I'm a huge Frank Mir fan. That's always my favorite guy. And so, like, I was like, I remember when it was still like, human cockfighting, as they called it. Like, I remember watching it when it was like Ken Shamrock and like Royce, Gracie, and it was bare knuckles and really, really crazy. And then, I remember when it was the basic level, where it was Chuck and Tito and Frank and Tank Abbott and like all that kind of stuff. And, and then, probably solidly till like about 2015, I was pretty good. But then, life was a thing, and you lose contact with stuff and this, that, and this stuff. So I was like, oh shit, even my love of pro wrestling, took a hit after a while, where I just wasn't able to keep up. And then, honestly, what helped that out a little bit actually was COVID, because, I wasn't working. There wasn't really a whole lot to do.
Plenty of time to catch up.
Yeah. So I got back into TV. And so I started watching the WWE more, and TNA, getting a little bit more caught up on those guys. And, because I've always been a wrestling fan. Even when I wasn't watching, I was still a fan. But it allowed me to get, like, back into it. And, Megan's a big wrestling person too. So we're looking forward to meeting Sting soon at a HorrorCon.
Oh,
He's
nice.
doing, like, some meet and greets. So we're really hyped to get to see him. And, she and I met The Undertaker not that long ago. And so that was super duper exciting. So we had a really, really good time with that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. Angel, my friend, let me kick it over to you, man. Let you take it away.
Hey, just want to say congrats on the album.
Thank you.
Definitely want to know, how did the band get signed to Pavement Entertainment?
Larry would be the better one to talk to about that. I just know, like, he does a lot of the business stuff. I help out where I can. But he just came to us one day and they said, hey, here's what they're offering. And we talked about it and signed the stuff. But yeah, it's been a pretty good experience. They've hooked us up with some pretty cool shows. We actually built a tour around some stuff that they gave us in 2023, the beginning of the year. We opened for Doyle at Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood. And then it was either the night before or the night after, we played House of Blues in Anaheim with Sponge, and super cool guys, So they've done stuff like that, and we get a lot of tour solicitations. And it's not like you automatically get them, but I think last summer there was a solicitation to open up for Iron Maiden all summer, and it was like a $25,000 buy on, and it was like, man, if I had $25,000, I know what I'd be doing all summer. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
Just I mean, Iron Maiden, you can't beat them, but it's like, but yeah, I like Larry was shopping around and he came across them, and it was just kind of, hey, this is what they've got, and we're like, okay, you know, but
I'm like,
clear as mud.
yeah, I'm like, Iron Maiden, come on, take them out for free. Jeez.
Dude, believe me, I'd give my left arm. I don't know how the hell I play guitar, but yeah. But we've done a couple of those. You get sometimes it's like equipment share because you got bands that fly in. So we've entertained quite a few of those, and that's more so what they're kind of providing. But I mean, yeah, obviously they reprinted the album and did all that stuff too. So
Mhm. So right now, you guys are playing shows and also working on the record. Just from my experience with talking to bands, a lot of bands, see, how can I put it? When they're working on the record, they don't want to do shows, and when they're doing shows, they don't want to work on the record. So how does the band kind of get themselves worked up into preparing for a show and still working on new music?
So for us, and that's kind of why we have to dial back the shows while we're trying to get the record actually put together, is because what'll end up happening, and I'm not innocent in what I'm about to say, so this is not aimed at any one person. We all do it, but say, we have, and we'll do like say a Thursday through Sunday and just go regionally, like, a couple states away. By the time we get home, get back to work, and then Wednesday rolls around or Sunday rolls around. So obviously, if we're out playing shows, we're not rehearsing on Sunday to write. And then by the time Wednesday or Thursday rolls around, nobody's caught their breath or anything like that, and people cancel, and so you don't get shit done. So if we just clear the schedule of shows, we can hit 2 rehearsals a week and get some shit accomplished. So yeah, I mean, it as much as we hate to not play shows, it kind of has to happen for us to get some stuff done. But when we find it very hard to say no, we're a live band. We love to play live. If you've seen any of the videos or whatever, like, Jesse gets out there and really revs them up, for lack of a better term, and it's a good time. We started this band with something that me and Larry still kind of refer to this day, but it was, we wanted to do Black Sabbath style riffing, but as Van Halen. So like some heavy shit, but a party is the kind of the concept. So, and I think we accomplished that to a certain degree. I mean, obviously nothing as great as Black Sabbath, but
And I'm curious to ask because I've yet to see a show in the Midwest, and the shows that you guys got coming up are in the Midwest. But for those of us who have not seen a show in the Midwest, what is it like? What are the audiences like that you guys are playing to in the Midwest?
man, I tell you what, I can't take any credit for it, and it's just one of those things where from the very first show we had, there was almost like this built-in, like whoever was there, I don't know where the hell they came from, but we got a good reaction from the first second, and it has not slowed down. Like any room we're put in with any combination of bands, we end up, making fans and having a great time. And I mean, that's not a brag or anything, because we like when we first started playing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we kept putting on these shows with these death metal bands. And nothing against death metal. I love death metal, but we're definitely not death metal. So, but we would be like that one band out of 4 other death metal bands where we would stick out because, you know, we weren't the death metal band, and we would make fans of even the death metal crowd. It was crazy. So, where are you guys based out of?
I'm in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay. We're
Stays in Baltimore.
Yep.
Baltimore. We just played Baltimore, Maryland. What was the name of the venue? It's a Mexican restaurant in the front, and then there's a venue in the back.
Zen West.
Yeah, we played Zen West in May.
I love that venue.
And we played we played this place in New Jersey. That was the last show of the tour.
Sinbad?
No, it was like a restaurant up front. It was not to create a theme, but it was another one where. But that show was off the fucking chain, man. And I can't remember what the hell the name of. It was like a legit, like family style restaurant, but in the back they had this giant room that was just great, and it was packed. And we were all looking forward to going. Like, we hadn't played New Jersey yet, and as well for Baltimore. Like, we did mainly East Coast, and our only other like big touring experience with this band, we went west, and it was like so different because we went West Coast. We did for like 2 weeks, and like we had a couple drives that were 12 and 13 hours in between. And East Coast, everything's so close together. It was like, oh, what's the worst drive? Like 4 hours. So it was great. Plus the crowds were amazing. Like, we went all over the place, and they were, you know, I mean, you're playing to Crowbot fans. Crowbot fans are great. Crowbot's a great band. And, you know, if there's any type of friendly, you know, competition, like, those guys put you on your A game, man. Cause the first time I ever saw those guys, there was maybe 50 to 100 people on a Tuesday in Fort Wayne. And, they fucking sold it like it was 5,000, man. I was like, these cats are fantastic, man. It doesn't matter how many people are there. They're just killing it. And great guys too. But I probably over answered that question, whatever the original one was.
Halftime. Is that the place?
What was it?
Halftime?
No. Well, it might have been. It seemed like it was the name of a restaurant, but maybe the venue had a different name. But you know what? I can look it up real quick, honestly, just for sake of. Let me find it here. I know it's here somewhere. It was in Frenchtown, New Jersey, if that narrows it down.
Artie's.
What was it?
Something. Artie's.
Yeah, that was it. Artie's. Yeah.
Yeah, in Frenchtown, and I knew right away.
Yep. There you go.
Was you playing at the place from Happy Days?
Yeah. Arnold's.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's right.
And Brian with a Doom question. The closest you have come to death.
Man, Brian's knocking him out of the park, ain't he? The closest we have come to death. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of the tour, we took our tour van in like a week and a half before, just to get it, you know, once over, get the oil changed and stuff. And the mechanic was like, I can't let you drive this out of here. So it had been making a noise. Well, what had happened is the frame right by the steering box was completely rusted out. and we had no idea. We got a good buddy of ours who's the head fabricator at a Janus Motorcycles, so he's a welder, and he's putting it all. Dude, I wish I had the pictures to show you what this guy has done to this van, but so that would have been, I mean, driving through the mountains and shit where we were on the East Coast, that would have been death for all of us. Believe it. If we wouldn't have caught that shit, that is as far as the band goes, that is probably as close as I ever want to come.
Hey Jay, what's the closest you've come to death?
Getting hit by a car and going through their windshield.
Nice. Did you tuck and roll, or was it just?
No, just I was crossing the street and they accelerated off the stoplight and just took me out from my right side and just
Damn.
Just over the hood, through the windshield, and off the side of my car. So yeah, that was fun.
I feel like Angel knew the answer to that question. Is why
he did.
Not really. I forgot about that, but gosh, the closest I came was when I was 18, being pistol whipped in an armed robbery in Camden.
Oh my God, dude!
Or lived there.
Camden, yeah. I want to say. Yeah, I want to say we went through there. I'm trying to read these little things here, but have you ever played at Baltimore Soundstage? No, it was Zen West. You need a cooler death story, Jay. I'm trying to read what people are saying down here, and it's so small on my screen. I got to lean into it.
Oh, gee, thanks, Brian. Yeah, let me just go harder against the next call coming at me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so let me add. Oh, what do we got? Oh, there you go.
And influences in 90 seconds.
90 seconds? All right, who's timing me?
Brian is, because I suck at that.
Man, the influences really kind of range. We've had somebody tell us, and we thought this was pretty apt as far as a description, but we had somebody tell us that if Clutch and Pantera had a baby, it would be Chokesetter. And I was like, that is, I don't know how precise that is, but I'll take it. Love both those bands. So obviously Clutch and Pantera are a influence, but even like obviously COC we talked about, Fu Manchu, Black Sabbath, and Caius. I mean, you talk to somebody, especially me, it'll depend on the day what I'm listening to. Jay mentioned the glam metal stuff earlier. I was like, fuck, let's take a time out and detour and talk about that shit, because I love that shit.
Totally, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Just curious to know, as a Black Sabbath fan, what did you think about that final show?
I haven't seen a lot of footage from it. It seemed like, I hope they rebroadcast it at some point. I didn't know where. I guess it came up on me quicker than I realized, because I didn't know what was going on until I started seeing video clips. So I didn't really research where I could watch it, but it seemed like they had some cool performances. I was glad to see, like, out of anybody, I was glad to see Jakey Lee included, because I know there was some acrimony between him and Sharon as far as it goes, not getting writing credits and whatnot, but I was glad to see him out there. I don't know who all played. I think it's funny now after the fact, they're talking about, oh, why wasn't this band invited? And like one of the bands was Motley Crue. I'm like, probably because they're a terrible fucking live band, but I've seen it. That I loved that band as a kid, and I was just like, some of their recent shit, I was like, oh my God, dude. Yeah. So I think they're trying to save face by saying that they were invited and whatever. I won't get into that wormhole, but yeah. But it seems like every day is some new, oh, we didn't go or whatever, But the lineup was crazy. You know, I do, like I said, I hope they rebroadcast it at some point because I'd love to see the whole thing.
I mean, God bless those guys that all four of them were alive to actually do that show. But I'm glad that they did it with the
I'm
four
glad they fucking included Bill this time.
Yeah.
They did that one tour, and I was like, it's cool that they got the guy dressed up looking like Bill from the 70s, and he's a good player, but what the fuck, man? Pay the guy. And that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
They didn't want to, pay him fairly, which is, I've heard why Izzy isn't on the Guns N' Roses reunion tour. So it's like, you know what? Do it for the fucking fans. Come off a couple dollars out of your own pocket and fucking, because that's what everybody wants to see. That's like when they actually said, okay, we're doing this in the beginning thing. I'm like, is fucking Bill Ward going to be playing drums? Because he is the guy that I want to see.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to see one of the Ozfests in the, I want to say mid 90s, late 90s, when it was actually him. Like they did the Black Sabbath and then Ozzy played after him. And Bill Ward was on drums on that tour. So
nice.
I didn't see that. But yeah.
Yeah, like I know that they were doing 48 hours of like to watch the stream again, but Megan and I were also talking a few times about like and I think they're gonna do it, but I'm personally really hoping that they like release it as like a DVD or Blu-ray thing.
So, right. Yeah, I'm sure the licensing for that would be a nightmare, but that would be cool.
I can imagine, but like I would really like to see that personally. I mean, since everybody did it for charity anyway, I could. Yeah. Nobody got a dime out of that. It all went to like Parkinson's, like I think the Children's Hospital, and like a third one or something. So it was $190 million raised.
Wow, nice.
That went to charities and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that for this, the DVDs probably could do something in the same ballpark.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, as far as like, I mean, same with you. I've only seen limited footage, but of like the footage that I've seen of people who did their Ozzy or Sabbath covers, personally, the guy that I thought did the best cover that I've seen from the
I know what you're gonna
say. Who?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Youngblood?
100%.
Dude, I had no idea who the fuck that guy was. I watched that and I'm like, all right, I got to look up this guy's music. 100%. He knocked it out of the park, man. Yeah. I had no fucking idea who he was before that.
So I saw him a few years back at Ram's Head. I'd heard his name a few times, and so I just kind of went for the hell of it. I think there was an opening band on the tour that I also liked, but I was like, let me go check this guy out. And it was really great, put on a great live show, and everything I've seen, he is ridiculously awesome to his fans. And I'm really easily triggered when I hear that you're not good to your fans. Like I get really fussy very quickly when I hear about that kind of stuff. Right. But absolutely killed it. I loved that cover. I really liked Draymond's cover of "Shot in the Dark." I thought that was excellent, and I loved, of course, seeing. I'm also a big Ultimate Sin record fan, so yeah. I loved the fact that Jakey Lee, of course, was participating again, being that he played on that record. Yeah. And I also enjoyed Lizzie Hale, her cover of the Ultimate Sin. I thought that one was pretty good. And
I've heard use a lot of stuff where I'm like, man, that chick is just like, she did what was the Stone Sour cover albums where she was doing Gimme Shelter, the backups to that, and I was like, holy shit, amazing. Anyway, not to cut across you, but
no, totally. And I liked Papa from Ghost's cover of Bark at the Moon. I thought that was solid.
Yeah, I like, so Ultimate Sin and the Papa one, I only saw like maybe half a minute of, and then but I saw somebody had posted Shot in the Dark.
Oh, okay.
I saw all of that and I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
Really good, really good.
Oh no, that's killer. Yeah, definitely what I've seen is cool because like that's a tough thing if you're not there live, but to be like watching it on TV for 8 to 10 hours, like
Yeah.
that's a tough commitment there for sure. But I definitely wanted to ask you about your show at the Whiskey A Go Go. So about 8 months ago, Angel and I actually hosted a show at the Whiskey. We
No
were
shit.
we were invited out to host a show that was happening out there, so that was amazing. But I'm a huge Misfits guy, but I also love Doyle solo stuff. So I really would love to hear you talk a little bit about your experience opening for Doyle.
Um, like I said, that was one of the shows we got through Pavement, but I wanted, and just backing up a little bit before we say anything about Doyle, we had, I don't know which way we came into town, but we were coming from the north and we ended up coming up the hill in Creston at sunset where it's right there in front of you. And I thought for a second, I was like, I wonder if we'll be on the marquee. And I'm driving and we fucking crest that hill. And I was like, we're on the fucking marquee, dude. Like it was so great. But yeah, Doyle, all the people in his, you know, association, they were great. They played a great show. Super cool to work with. And it was kind of funny. And I don't, sorry about that. I don't mean, and this is no disparagement to any of the bands we played with because I get it. Like the whole image thing is very important, especially in Hollywood. But it was like everybody kind of showed up all rock starred out, and like I said, nothing against that. But like from the jump, like we're in the middle of the day, it's like noon, and everybody's just already in character, shall we say? And like everybody plays, and we're direct support to Doyle, and we get up there, and it's like, you know, four fucking Indiana dudes in their blue jeans, like not just don't give a fuck, and just get up there. And one of the guys that worked at the Whiskey was like, he's like, dude, if they don't like you, they will just sit there and cross their arms and look at you.
Yep.
And we got a really good reaction. Actually, they emailed us while we were out and said, hey, we've got all these cameras, and it's like a smart camera mixing thing. And then we can take all the audio and split it into tracks so you can remix it later and put a video out. And it was like, I can't remember what it was, like $500-600, and we kind of did a GoFundMe thing real quick and got it done. That's actually on YouTube somewhere, but it was great, you know, that whole experience. I mean, and coming up at, you know, at the age I did, like that was like all that Sunset Strip shit was very influential, or I don't know, very early. So like just to play on that stage, not to mention like fucking all the people that played there, not even the hair metal stuff, but you know, going back, like Led Zeppelin fucking played there. Like, need I say more? You know? But yeah, Doyle's cool. And all the guys in the band, they played a great set. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice, dude. Yeah, no, I love what Doyle does outside of the Misfits. So it's actually kind of funny. One of the funnier stories that I heard just about Doyle, because I've been fortunate to interview him a few times, and he's always been super great to me. But I remember watching this interview that he was doing, and he was telling this story one time because his girlfriend is the singer of Arch Enemy.
Right, right.
And so she was doing this, you know, metal festival or event kind of thing. And she was invited to come out, you know, to sing some songs and do like some jams and stuff like that. And and she was like, to the organizer, she was like, do you want me to bring Doyle? Do you want me to ask Doyle if he'll do it? And they were like, well, fuck yeah.
Yeah, we want, yeah.
Of course. And so they were talking to Doyle, and they were like, yeah, dude. And he's like, so what exactly is this thing? He's like, well, it's like a jam, you know, and, you know, covers and people just kind of playing off of each other and stuff like that. And Doyle was saying, he's like, yeah, so here's the thing. I don't jam. I know my songs and I know Misfit songs. I don't jam. But they ended up making it work because I mean, like, you know, honestly, who's not going to be down to perform a Misfit song with a Misfit?
Right? Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
Like I'll do it. I'll let Doyle pick the song, man. I mean, he wants to do Halloween, we'll do Halloween. He wants to do Skulls, we'll do Skulls. He wants to do Dig Up Your Bones. I might die where I stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just be like, you know, okay, fine. Doyle doesn't jam. That's fine. He can pick the song and I'll learn it or I'll already know it.
Yeah. I caught that the show in, I don't know how many years ago it was. I think it was pre-COVID, if I'm not mistaken, but when they got back together and they did like those couple of shows.
The Riot Fest thing?
No, well, they might have played there, but they did like a couple one-offs. I want to say, obviously, I think they did New Jersey, but one of them was in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And well, they also played Riot Fest, so I saw them there, and I think I saw them at like the other big show was like, God, who the hell opened? Anyways, Power Trip and here, but yeah, that show was amazing, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Misfits, but when I first heard them as a kid who was listening to all this polished bullshit, I was like, these cats can't fucking play, they can't tune their instruments. But then I'm like, well, the songs are good though.
Yeah.
Well, so, you know.
Well, it's funny. So like here's the thing, like I love the Misfits. Like I'm a huge nerd. But the funny thing is, my specific loyalty to the Misfits is actually the 90s Michael Graves era Misfits. So like
which was almost the antithesis because all that stuff sounds great. Like
yeah. Oh yeah. Because they were like on Geffen Records and all that stuff, and you know there was more money behind them and stuff for that. Definitely that polished sound. But I knew that Danzig stuff. The funny thing is, because like I know Die My Darling and Last Caress and Skull, all these amazing songs. Like I knew them all back then because a lot of their songs still got radio play even back then. I just wasn't really as familiar with the members of the band. And the funny thing is, I'm a huge Glenn Danzig fan, but I was a big I still am, but I'm a big Glenn Danzig fan as Glenn Danzig, the metal guy. That's how I knew him. I knew Glenn Danzig as the Mother guy, Twist of Pain, Dirty Black Summer, like, you know, Lucifuge and, you know, How Gods Kill. Like I know that Danzig. I'm a fan of that guy. And the funny thing is when the Misfits became a thing, a thing again in the 90s, you know, like anybody who's discovering a band for the first time, you wonder if this is a new band or if they've got history. So when I'm watching, you know, when I started doing my research, realized, oh fuck, it's 1995 and these guys have been around since like 76. I was like, oh shit. Okay. And I was like, Glenn Danzig, why does that name sound so familiar? Oh my God, wait, that's the guy that sang Mother. He was in the Misfits. How the fuck did they lose that guy? And that was when I, you know, you just learn about bands breaking up and lawsuits and Jerry finally winning so he could continue on with the Misfits and, you know, still having to pay out Glenn for merchandising and so on and so forth. You know, just whatever their agreement was whatever their agreement was. But yeah, I haven't been I've been fortunate to see Glenn live as Danzig. In fact, his drummer is actually going to be on the show tomorrow. But it's
the guy from Typo, right?
What's up?
The guy from Typo, right?
Yeah, Johnny Kelly.
I couldn't think of his name. Damn it.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
that got offered to us like last week, and I just had to. The time frame was very limited, and they were like, "Well, he's really only got mornings." So I was like, "Well, let me talk to my guy, Angel. We're being offered Typo Negative, and you know me, I really want to say yes. Are you available either of these days in the morning?"
I will be. Yeah, I was not going to that one.
Yeah, I'll make myself available.
Exactly. But yeah, in particular, it's for his newest band, because Johnny's one of those guys that's got like 15 bands at any given time. But it's for this band that he does called Patriarchs of Black, and his singer Dan was on the show like a year or so ago, when they did the first round of interviews for Patriarch. So it'll be pretty cool to finally get Johnny. Actually, a friend of the show, Candy, she interviewed Johnny for during that same Patriarchs time frame, and invited me onto her show for a couple of minutes just so I could say that I've interviewed Johnny Kelly.
Nice, yeah.
But no, that was definitely a cool one. But yeah, so like I love all of that. And before I kick it back up to Angel and let him take it away for a bit, is he and I were in Nashville a few months ago for the Rock and Pod Expo that they do regularly, and TMS we've been fortunate to be picked up for a few of those. And I was super hyped, and we weren't able to land an interview with him, but I've already talked to him, and he's down for an interview, so I just have to get it set up. But anyway, one of the guests of Rockin' Pod this year was Erie Vaughn, and I was like, I have got to meet him. Like, we didn't get the interview, but I made it my business to like go to his table, buy some merch, bring all my Danzig shit. Like he was super duper cool. Like he signed it all, like no questions asked, because I brought like 8 CDs, and like he was super cool. And I also have like all the Sam Hain stuff, but I was like, I can't be that guy. I can't make this guy sign 5 Sam Hain CDs, like 7 Danzig CDs, the Danzig box set. Like I can't be that guy. I knew that he would sign, I also spent a decent penny at his merch, but he was a really, really cool, great guy. He signed his book, and but one of the things that was really cool is the organizers were selling large posters, like 18 by 24 posters for the event, that had all of the podcasters listed and all of the guests. And so under podcast, it had the Metal Summit listed, and under the guests, it had Erie Vaughn. And I was like, I have to have this. I was like me and Angel's little DIY show that we built from the ground up is printed on an actual poster with an OG member of Danzig. I need that in my life.
Yeah. He did a book of all the pictures, because he took the photos, the early photos of Misfits. I can't remember, it's something Obscura, but I got it. Big hardcover, great book. But
that's the Misery Obscura book. That's the
that's
I had him sign that too.
Nice.
Yeah, Angel, take it away, my friend.
Are you guys getting that feedback? Should I put some headphones on? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. But if you have headphones, we can try that out.
Yeah, let me throw these on and. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Seems like it kind of went away a little bit. Still there, but we can do this for now.
Yeah, I don't hear it on my end.
Brian says, what sounds do you want to experiment with? Well, I'll tell you what. I got this thing right behind me that I've been getting good at. So I don't know that it'll make it on a chokesetter album, but hope that answers your question.
When it comes to the current album that you guys released, do you guys ever have leftover material that just did not make the album for one reason or another?
It's funny you should ask that, because that album, when we put that out, so the current album that just got re-released has two different songs on it, one like a live track and then one that we rewrote. But the first version of that album has 9 tracks, and there's like an instrumental on there that I did myself, and we were just trying to make it long enough, because when we first got together, all the tracks came together pretty quick, but we realized very quickly that we were leaving money on the table by not having product, because people wanted CDs, shirts. So there was absolutely nothing left off that first album. So, um, but I imagine this next one, like I said, we probably have enough material for a double album. So inevitably there'll be something left off, given budget restraints as far as getting recordings done. So,
damn, that's something that hasn't been done in a while.
man, if I was to win the lottery tomorrow, I'd pay these guys to stay home and we'd have a double album in the next couple months. I'll tell you that right now. On vinyl with gatefold and all posters and all kinds of shit. That's how we roll. It's funny because
I do the same for you.
Nice. Yeah, there's something to be said about that physical form where we're kind of in the era of singles and EPs where a lot of thought, and I mean this goes back to other bands, but there was a lot of thought went into like the track listing, how the songs kind of went in and out of each other, and it's a lost art. I really think it is. I mean,
and you guys are opening for Corrosion of Conformity. I got the date.
September 30th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Fort Wayne, Indiana, years.
So how did you guys get that gig to open up for them?
So there's a couple different promoters that work at, and that stuff is still coming back to me. It's fucking me up because I'm hearing myself.
Gotcha. Hey, Angel, do me a favor. Mute your mic, and let's see if that has something to do with that. I'm going to mute mine too. Dixon, go ahead, man.
Okay, there you go. Now I can't hear anything. That's probably fixed it. Anyways, there's a couple different promoters that work for Pierre's, and we've kind of gotten in good with all of them. So anytime something like that comes through, we either get asked, or if it's something like COC, I'm pretty sure Larry hit somebody up and asked, and they were like, yeah, absolutely. So we've got one other venue. It's Hobart Art Theater in Hobart, Indiana. Hobart. Let me say it correctly. But yeah, Ed Rosenberry that books the shows out there has thrown us quite a few bones. We got in there initially. I cannot remember what our first show was there, but we've played with Texas Hippie Coalition, Powerman 5000, Crowbar, a lot of bands out there, and it's a great venue.
So once you guys work on the record, I guess of course it's a dumb question, but I'm sure you guys will be playing more shows after the record comes out. Is there like a timeline for putting the next record out, or you guys just kind of winging it?
Well, like I said, I'd like to have it done by the fall at latest, and I want to say that the plan is to do an EP before that, which maybe do a couple EPs and then put it all together as the album, just to be constantly putting out content. I know that's one thing that drives me crazy. If I love a band and they, and this hasn't happened for a long time, but like if they don't have anything new for the longest time, you're like, where the fuck is the new stuff? So I'm constantly like, guys, we've got people that want this shit and we need to get it out.
Yeah, because I remember like back in the 80s, we would wait 2 years for an album. In the 70s, It was
Doing it twice a year.
Talk.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm all about. Like, fuck.
Yeah, like in the 70s, Kiss would put out a record like twice a year. And then in the 80s, it became bands would put out a record every 2 years. So with your band, how often do you feel that you got to put something out?
That's a tough question because you don't want to put something out just to have it out. You know, you want to have some sort of quality control, obviously. So we kind of keep each other honest as far as, you know, doing, you know, our best to put out the best product we can as far as songs, you know. So and we've definitely had stuff that has went by the wayside, you know. Um, whether that stuff comes out ever, who knows? But there's been a song here or there where, and stuff that's actually got recorded, and we just at the end of the day we were like, is that the best we can do? And if it's not, let's not put it out. You know what I mean? So
Just out of curiosity, is the sound gone? You know, whatever was.
yeah, when you mute it, like right now when we're talking, I can hear it.
Oh,
So when you mute it, it takes it away. But yeah, now it's gone.
damn, it's got to be the AC then. I apologize for that.
Oh, you're fine. I was just like, it was bouncing my voice back to me. So I was like, you know, they have that. I like this Brian guy. Sacrifice a current musician to bring one back. Who's coming north and who's going south? Ah, man, I wouldn't sacrifice anybody. I mean, well, yeah, that's a slippery slope. I want. I'd have to go for who's coming back. I'd have to go between Dimebag or Prince, if I'm being honest. It seems like pretty far bookends, but I mean, they could have like Miley Cyrus. I don't want to lose you guys viewers by saying the wrong shit.
Nah, dude, you're not our viewers. Nah, you're super good there. But yeah, we get Dimebag Daryl and we get Prince a lot.
Oh, good.
All right, Jan, we'll kick it right back up to you for our last round.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No problem. So let's get into this a little fun conversation for a little bit there, my friend, of which we've been beating around the bush a little bit. So let's talk a little bit of 80s glam there, bro.
All right.
I mean, we had mentioned Motley Crue. I mean, they've been my, they've been my favorite band for 30 years. Like, I love Motley Crue, and I'm still incredibly protective of them this day. But at the same time, look, I understand people. I understand where people are coming from. My ears work. I can see it. Like, I really do understand. My only thing is, like, I don't get on Vince all that much about the whole skipping every third word kind of thing, because if you watch old footage of him back in the 80s, he still did it then. It's more the fact that when he sings now, the thing that kind of drives me more crazy than anything is when he sings now, it doesn't really sound like he's actually saying real words. And that's the part that drives me a little bit crazy. Have you seen that, like, subtitled video of him singing, and it'll be like
hilarious,
two 99-cent cheeseburger, or like, couple whipped cream, or whatever the fuck the lyrics are and stuff like that. Like,
I've actually seen his solo band because a buddy of mine writes for a music paper, and he'll get free tickets. He's like, "You want to go see Vince Neil?" I was like, "Might as well." His band, it's basically Slaughter.
Yeah.
Without Mark Slaughter, and his backing band is fantastic.
Yeah.
And
I love seeing Vince solo. Like, don't get me wrong, I've seen Vince solo a bunch. I've seen Motley Crue a bunch. Like, I'm always going to enjoy myself at that show. But there is definitely something great, though, about seeing, like as a bass guy, like, Nicky was always an influence of mine. So I love seeing Motley Crue live for the sake that, like, hey, look, it's, I get to watch, Nikki Sixx live and stuff like that. I have not yet seen him with John 5. I'm a big John 5 fan. So as much as I still wish that Mick was in my Motley Crue, because all of the Motley Crues I've seen, I've been fortunate. Like I've seen John Corabi, solo, and I've also seen him with the Dead Daisies. And I think John's great. I think that fucking Motley Crue 94 album is bulletproof. I just wish they wouldn't have called it Motley Crue.
Dude, if we're being honest, and not to divide the room, but that's to me, that's the best Motley Crue album.
Sure.
Hands down. The writing on that is fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Karabi is a fucking, like, I've actually opened for that guy several times, and he is
nice.
the nicest guy. Met
so
him
nice.
Even more than that. And actually, this is a funny story. Me and my wife were in Nashville, and we saw Chris Cornell at the Ryman.
Oh, wow.
And directly after that, we hopped in a cab and went to the Basement East, and John was doing the 94 album in its entirety. And he actually played one of the songs off Quaternary that is probably the best song that's not on that 94 album is 10,000 Miles.
Yeah, the song that he wrote for Quaternary, because each song was written by a band member on that EP.
Right. So we rushed over there. And what's funny, well, it's not funny. It kind of sucks because I would have hoped it was better attended. But like a year later, I'm looking at new releases, and he released that as a live album, like the Live 94. And I'm listening to it, and I'm hearing like the audience sound. I'm like, there weren't that many fucking people there, unfortunately, but you know how they do with the live albums.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And that was with his son on drums, right? That was with Ian.
Yeah. And that's the kid in the Scream video, Man on the Moon. That's him. So, which another great fucking album if we're talking about, and it's not necessarily glam, but the Scream album.
Oh, dude,
untouchable.
That for me, Outlaw is just one of the best rock songs, like just out there ever. Like that song alone that album alone can compete with everything, and so can Man on the Moon. But dude, Outlaw, when I saw John live for the first time, it was at M3 back in like 2014 or something like that. And he opened with Outlaw, and I was like, oh my God, he's opening with the Scream. This is so great. And he's opening with the best song on the record. Like just so good. I fucking love that. But yeah, I never got to see when he did the mini tour with Live 94 or whatever he was calling the actual tour, but I definitely wish that I had. But no, for sure, dude. Like I love Motley Crue. I'm always going to be a fan. But to close out the thing with Vince Solo is all of the guys in Slaughter, like the band, can sing. Between like Dana and think.
I can't think of his name either. I know
he's not the original guitar player, but he's the guy who's been in Slaughter now for a while.
Blando.
Thank you.
Jeff Blando.
Yep.
Yes. They're amazing range. Like, so they do a great job of covering for Vince's weaknesses and allowing him to play off his strengths, like stage presence, look, certain parts of the songs that don't necessarily need to rely on that high squeal range.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing, for sure when it came to that. And what's up, Bobby? Good to see you there, brother. It's our former co-host of the Metal Summit, and Bobby Dreyer popping in and saying what's up. But yeah, dude, other than that, like when it comes to like bands out of the 80s, I'm a huge Lizzie Borden fan. Like I love everything that band's ever done. And bands like, Skid Row, Poison, So it's just
that second Skid Row album, man, you can't fuck with that. And I actually saw, you guys probably saw this tour too, and I'm dating myself, but Pantera opened for Skid Row on Vulgar Display, and then Skid Row was on Slave to the Grind.
Slave to the Grind. dude. So good. Like I'm a bit like I like the first Skid Row album a little bit
I do
more
too.
than Slave to the Grind personally. It's just a little bit more my style. Slave to the Grind is so great. I mean, so many great songs. But for me, just the combination of like, Big Guns, Youth Gone Wild, Remember You, I will remember.
It was
you.
very anthemic.
Exactly. It's very anthemic and it's so easy. But then, again, there's so much enslaved to the grind between like Monkey Business and,
Chain Gang. Yeah.
Chain Gang and Rattlesnake
Darkened Room. Yeah.
Slave to the Grind. Like so good. So like, yeah, just Anthem is just stylistically that's a little bit more my style and I like it a little bit better. Although, Slave to the Grind is technically the first real official album with Sebastian because
he didn't write anything on that first one.
That they had a different singer, they had a whole bunch of stuff. Sebastian Bach was with Madam X.
Yeah, with a lot of fucking hairspray.
Yes. A lot of hairspray, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of like people like a lot of hairspray, man, if we want to talk about stuff like that, are you familiar with the band Nitro?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on, man. I think I still have Jim Gillette, as my number one like mega hair.
Oh man, that was
I don't know.
I remember those posters where it's like, holy fuck.
I mean, his guitar player, Michelangelo Badio, is still my favorite guitar player of all time. I've actually got 2 of his guitars.
Really? Yeah. He plays around here quite a bit. I think he lives in Wisconsin, which isn't far from us.
Okay.
At. So yeah.
He's been playing with Manowar lately.
Oh, has he? That seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love him. I've seen him a couple of times perform solo where he basically is playing, instrumental. But but he'll do like he'll put like screens or TVs behind him that'll like play certain music videos. Like he'll play on the he'll play the music video for like, Freight Train. But he'll be playing his parts at the same time as the video is going on and playing. So it's like super cool. It's almost kind of like when you go and see like Rocky Horror Picture Show live.
Right.
Like, that's super duper cool. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to like the biggest hair, I mean, for me, it's Jim Gillette and then everybody else.
Right. But, yeah, totally.
but there was definitely like that Madam X, Sebastian Bach, Bret Michaels, and look what the cat dragged in. Oh man, there's so much Aquanet.
Oh yeah.
But how about you, man?
So I think some of the what do I say? Not better, but maybe more musically viable. Like came at almost at the very end where it was like you had like Tesla, and Bullet Boys.
Love them.
Cinderella. I mean, Cinderella. You bought that first album. You're like, this is like a 70s rock band. This isn't glam.
Nope.
And then they kind of followed that down a little more. And that, I mean, just
Long Cold Winter, you definitely heard it more. But then Heartbreak Station was like the 70s blues rock album.
Fucking fantastic album. And I saw them on Long Cold Winter, and they had a band. I don't remember. So it was White Lion opened, but there was another opener, and I didn't know who the hell it's supposed to be, but I had already had their tape and fucking loved the band. But it was, you remember Tangiers?
Oh yeah,
fucking amazing band.
Yeah,
like those guys sounded straight up like Bad Company.
Yeah,
so and good. They were on that tour. Like I was walking around, like looking for T-shirts, and I heard that first fucking song. I was like, what the fuck? Kind of run to my seat. Like, I didn't know they were on the show.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, when it comes to Cinderella, like for me, when it comes to songs, it's still Somebody Save Me and then everything else.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, just so good. I mean, everything from, Gypsy Road, to of course, at the time, everybody loves the ballads, and they definitely had a great one.
Absolutely.
But no, Cinderella was great. I always loved Firehouse. They were one of my favorite. Like, wish they had really exploded. Shout out to the late CJ Snare, who we just lost not that long ago.
I saw those guys actually open for Tesla on, I think it was Psychotic Supper.
Oh wow!
Great. Tangier, Mike LeCamp was the singer. Yeah, great band. Lost my sentence, but anyways, yeah. Damn it, forgot what I was saying. But we could talk about hair metal all night.
Oh no, absolutely, for sure. We want to bring you back regardless, man, for sure. But we will definitely have some fun too, where we like set something up for like massive hair metal talk and stuff. But no,
absolutely,
absolutely love the Bullet Boys. I mean, there you go. Angel's the hairiest of the hair, man. He's got it going, man.
Man, he could get some serious height out of that shit.
I love the Bullet Boys. I was always a big fan of them. I've known the guys forever, but like Angel and I, myself, Angel, and Bobby, we all had the opportunity to interview the Bullet Boys when they did that short-lived reunion. They played the M3 festival, and Angel and I and Bobby got to interview the whole band together and take a photo with them. It was like, and then 2 months later, another fight happened, and it was a wrap on them.
So, yeah, story that ties into that. They were slated to play this festival in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Absolutely the only reason. Well, I mean, there were other bands that I wanted to see, but that was like the main reason I was going, was because it was the original lineup. So we got tickets. Me and a buddy flew in, and all of a sudden they're not on the fucking bill anymore. And I was like, But Kingdom Come was on there.
Nice.
Wasn't the original singer, but they killed it. Dangerous Toys.
Keith St. John, probably.
Yeah, he looked like a kind of a Robert Plant type guy, but
definitely Keith.
Dangerous Toys was on there, and I never got to see those guys. They were fucking phenomenal.
Oh, I was going to say, but that was cool. Sebastian
Bach was the headliner, so he came out and did, he's got some really good solo albums.
Yeah.
Hard stuff, but that was a really good festival. Tora Tora. I'd never seen Tora Tora. Fucking love those guys.
Dude, Angel and I have interviewed Anthony Corder like 3 times, and he's just like so rad. We love that guy so much. They're so awesome. I'm a big Pretty Boy Floyd fan. I love Pretty Boy Floyd. And I'm also a really big Bang Tango fan. I love Bang Tango, dude.
Those fucking guys were on tour with Lynch Mob. I've never seen Bang Tango. And it seems like every time I go to see them, they miss the fucking plane or they do something. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like, pull it together. I've never got to see that band.
Dude,
love those guys. Do you have the third album?
I have all of I
so
have
that third album wasn't ever released. Like
Love After Death, and I've also gotten it signed by Joe Lestay as well.
I want to say I came across that. I didn't even know it existed until probably 5-10 years ago, and I was like, I got to find this, and it must have been released in another company. I've got a copy of it, but I don't know. It's got to be an import.
It did recently get some type of official release. Okay. I've got an official release, but it's like the very small amount of like, kind of like, I like to call them promotional albums. I don't think it has the stamp on it that says like promotional use only, but it was kind of like, when they release things out for press and promotion before the official release, or if something happens to where they can't release something, those things have already been sent out into the ether, so they just kind of are where they are. But my buddy Drew, who was in Bang Tango for a little while, he did an amazing documentary on the band, dude. It's free on YouTube, called Attack of Life, and if you haven't seen it, dude, you just need to watch that, man.
I think that's where I learned about that third album that even existed. I watched that and I was like, it was whoever did it did a great job. Like
Drew Fortier. So Angel and I have interviewed him a couple of times as well. He's got a band right now with David Ellefson from Megadeth.
Okay.
Called Lucid, and Drew's amazing. We love that guy. He's also a horror director and actor as well. He did a movie called The Dwellers
Oh,
So
nice.
when he was at Rockin' Pod, I think it was like 2 years ago when Angel and I went. He was there, doing interviews and just having a good time. But he had copies of Dwellers, and I was like, dude, I need my copy of Dwellers, man, right here. Have some money.
Nice.
I need my Dwellers.
What?
He's a super duper cool guy. But what also kind of brought that up when we were talking about Bang Tango and you were talking about your experiences is it kind of reminded me of that segment in the movie when Joe got like really really fucked up or sick or whatever happened, and
Right.
a fan sang their set
Oh,
because
okay.
Alex Grossi like was talking to this guy and he was like, well, I don't know what we're gonna do because we either like. No, I don't know if anybody can even sing his songs, and we don't know if we're going to get him in time. The guy's like, "Oh, I know the Bang Tango catalog," and he's like, "Really?" And he shows him the set list. He's like, "I know all these songs." He's like, "Right now in the hallway, sing this. Right now, sing that." And the guy apparently killed it. And they actually did put up footage of him singing, like you saw, and I was like, "Wow, there really is footage of this fan in trip pants performing Bang Tango songs."
That's hilarious.
It's super duper awesome for sure. But Angel, let's kick it up to you, man, to start off our final segment. It is last call for alcohol fans, just like Angel had said. Anything that you want to ask about what's going on with chokesetter and anything that's going on for the rest of this year. You've heard about the record and taking the time for writing and so on and so forth. But if you have any questions that you want to ask, don't be shy. We will always clear the board. Right up to you, Angel.
Yeah, just want to send some love to Bobby, who was our co-host.
We love you too, bro.
Yeah, only Bobby can get me to take my top off on the show.
Shit, he had you getting naked there for a second, man.
Hey,
Angel,
20 bucks is 20 bucks.
Angel needs some capital knockers, and that'll happen.
you do. Good question from Brian. What song did you spend the most time writing, and what song came to you without having to write it? I wish I had come up with that question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So the single we just put out, I actually demoed out in 2020 when COVID had us shut down. So I demoed it, and how many inches is the chokes? He's throwing me off my answer. But it wasn't like we had it together, and the day we went into the studio to cut vocals, Larry had written some of the melody lines and was kind of showing us them. So, I mean, that was what, 5 years that we had that song that when it finally got finished. I want to say the B section to that question, the easiest one. There's a song on the new version of the album that's the live track called 21. That song, I was fucking with a pedal one day and had a delay effect on it. And Larry goes, "What's that?" And I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "Let's write that." And it was that quick. And I think it's the last song on the album. That's how quickly that came together. And I don't know how many inches a chokesetter is. I don't do those sort of movies.
Me neither. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, I forgot about my final question.
Sorry if I keep leaning in like this. People are like, "What the fuck is he doing?" But I'm trying to read the comments.
Yeah, StreamYard has done some changes to where stuff used to just scroll bigger. Like Angel or I can put the questions up bigger, like when you saw Bobby's.
Okay.
When like when you saw Bobby's girth just a moment ago. But now they have this little thing where they keep the questions just kind of going up, but it's like a little comment box in the corner.
Yeah. Somebody shouted out from Philly. We played Philly on that last run too. It was like I'm terrible with names, so it was like an upstairs venue that we played there. If they're still on here, they might know what it is. But it was above a restaurant.
Is that
they had a nice marquee out front, like a lighted up one.
Is that the Tusk?
No, I'm sure there's a shitload of venues in Philly. But that was a good one. God, I'm terrible with names. My apologies. If the person from Philly is still on there, they might be able to. Yeah, Milk Boy. Nice. Bobby for the win. It was Milk Boy.
On the upcoming dates that you guys have, can people expect the band to play any songs that you're working on for the upcoming record?
Oh man, that's a good question. I've got a dry erase board here behind me. I'll have to look. There's been several that we've been playing recently that are going to be on the record that aren't recorded yet, and I'm just as excited to play new stuff as anybody. But the one thing that, as a fan, if I see a band and I hear a song I like, I want to know where I can get the song. So I've been kind of a pain in the ass, for lack of a better term, about not wanting to play them, because I know when people hear the shit, they'll want to know where they can get it, and it's not out yet, which as a fan, like, would be frustrating to me. So I try to mitigate it, but I obviously am not winning that argument. So yeah, there is so the title track, what was supposed to be the title track of the newest album, Lumberjacks from Outer Space, that's one we've been playing. Why am I drawing a blank on another one? Oh man. The songs go through so many iterations that we'll have working titles, and maybe that won't be what the end title is. So if I'm saying something now, it might not be the same thing once it reaches the album, you know. So, but yeah, we will be playing, much to my chagrin. I mean, and it's kind of a contrast, because I really want to play them live. I want people to hear them, but in the same respect, it's like, if we don't have them to be listened to, or people can't find them, then, like I said, that's, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a dickhead and that irritates me. So I should just shut up. So yeah, but yeah, to answer the question, we'll be playing new stuff. What do you like the most about being a musician? Just creating. Like, I do all kinds of different projects just to kind of keep my mind busy. But, like, you know, I don't know who said it, but, you know, when it comes to life, contribute a verse.
It was Lisa asked you that question.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah. So, yeah, good question, Lisa. I mean, I hope I elaborated on that as much. I mean, it's. I think Sting said, "Music is his own reward," or he stole it from somebody and claimed it as himself. But music is its own reward. So just, you know, whether anybody hears what you're doing or not, you're sitting and you're playing, you won. Hope that didn't sound too pretentious.
No, not at all. Jay, back to you for the wrap.
No, absolutely. No, man. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. We really, really appreciate you taking time out of your evening. And before we officially start the wrap up process, the thing that's always, important that Angel and I allow you to do is, again, let everybody know, where Chokesetter can be found, also where they can get merch if there's merch available.
So we do have a very easy to remember website. It's chokesetter.com. You can get links to everything. You can get links to, like, the Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that shit on the chokesetter.com. But being that the name is pretty unique, it takes a very minimal search to find us anywhere. As far as merch goes, we are working on getting a merch store set up on our site right now. we, like when we got the new CDs, we put something out on our Facebook page about shipping them to people, signing them, shipping them if they wanted them. So we'll do stuff like that. But we have just about every fucking piece of merch you could imagine. So the Herculean task of setting up a merch store is going to be fun, to say the least. So, but we are working on it because we know, like, sometimes you see a band and maybe you don't have money on you or whatever, and you want to get it later, whatever. So having that in mind, being fans ourselves, we want to get that done. But chokesetter.com, you can find everything. The dates will usually be on, God, there's another site, and it's linked on chokesetter.com, but Bands in Town, I think is what it is.
Bands in Town, yeah.
Oh yeah, our dates will be on there. We don't have, well, I mean, we probably have a 10, 12 booked out for the rest of the year, but not as much as we would normally have, because like we talked about, still trying to finish up some writing and get that all squared away.
No, absolutely, man, for sure. And also the thing that's always been so important to myself and Angel whenever we get to, talk to guests like yourself is that, you had a good time this evening. You enjoyed yourself. You felt respected. You liked the questions that were asked. And in any way, shape, or form, hopefully this interview was beneficial to you and Chokesetter's continued success.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime you want me back, we can talk about hair metal. We can talk about Prince. We can talk about Chokesetter. We can talk about fucking whatever, man. You guys are great. Loved it.
Awesome. Killer, man. Well, we really, really appreciate you, man. Reach out anytime, man. If there's anything that Angel and I can ever do to assist the band, we got you, man. You're an alumnus now, your family,
awesome.
Anything you need, man, we got you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, brothers.
Totally appreciate it. Of course, man. Metal Summoners, you guys rock. As always, thank you for having such great interaction. Bobby, great to hang with you as always, my friend. Lisa, Brian, thank you guys as always for being so involved. You guys heard it straight up for everybody that was watching. Everywhere that you can find Chokesetter and what they've got going on, make sure that you're keeping an eye on them, especially when they've got more concrete information on when the album's going to come out and get finished up. And also reach out to them if you do want to get a t-shirt, a CD, things like that before the web store actually gets launched, so definitely reach out to them to find out about the easiest way to do that. When it comes to Metal Summit merch, you can contact me. I'm the one in charge of that. So Angel and I do have Metal Summit t-shirts. That's currently what we do carry. The only so we've got small, medium, extra large, and 2 extra large. So anything that you guys want to know about t-shirts, just reach out to me either through the TMS page or my personal accounts, and I can get you all set up on shipping and so on and so forth. But make sure that you guys are following the Metal Summit, most importantly, on both Facebook and YouTube, because that's where you're watching the interview right now. That's where Dixon's telling you about everything going on with Chokesetter. But also, please make sure that you guys are following us on Instagram as well, because all of our guest announcements come out on Instagram first. So if you want to be the first to know, make sure that you guys are following that page. You can follow Angel Alamo at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. You can also find him on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at Salem.vampire, but you can also find me under that same moniker on Facebook as well. And of course, our friend and beloved Psycho Steve, who works in the background, you can find him at The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram, as well as PsychoStevePresents.com. But you can also find our beloved Bobby Dreyer, who popped his head in today for some great comments on Facebook as well. Fantastic photographer. He works very, very closely with Mark Weiss, who was literally the elite photographer when it came to 80s glam, of which we got to talk to tonight. And he also shot that Cinderella cover that Dixon and I were talking about for having that conversation. So a lot of pages that you guys can follow. But again, make sure that you're showing a lot of love to TMS like you guys always do, but make sure that you guys are showing even more love to Chokesetter and everything that's going on with them. But thank you guys so much. Angel and I will see you guys in 12 hours. We are very, very excited to have a special morning episode with you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the one and only Johnny Kelly, Typo Negative, Danzig, Quiet Riot currently. He's going to be talking a lot about patriarchs of the Patriarchs in Black. That's the main reason for the interview, but also Pale Horse Named Death. I mean, If there's a metal band that you guys love, Johnny Kelly quite possibly have been involved with it. But Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of the evening, and Angel and I will see you guys in the next few hours for another great conversation. On behalf of Chokesetter, on behalf of myself and Angel, we appreciate you guys. We love you. We'll see you soon. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.